The Grasslands Conservation Council of British Columbia is a non-profit organization dedicated to conserving and enhancing BC's grasslands. Since its founding in 1999, the GCC has partnered with a wide range of stakeholders to gather and share critical knowledge about these fragile ecosystems. By advocating for evidence-based decision-making, the GCC promotes responsible stewardship and sustainable management practices. Through collaboration with land managers, policymakers, and local communities, the GCC works to ensure that BC's grasslands and the species that rely on them are preserved for future generations. Established in 2001, the Laurie Guichon Memorial Grasslands Interpretive site has been managed through a partnership between the Grasslands Conservation Council and the Nicola Watershed Community Roundtable. The 102-hectare site is ecologically diverse, encompassing grasslands, forests, wetlands, and shrublands. Historically significant, the grasslands were once dominated by native species like bluebunch wheatgrass and rough fescue. However, heavy use and overgrazing, aided by knapweed moving along travel corridors, has led to the spread of invasive species such as spotted knapweed and cheatgrass, which have severely degraded this site's ecological health. Spotted knapweed and cheatgrass are two of the most harmful invasive species at this site. Spotted knapweed is an aggressive invader that forms dense monocultures, outcompeting native plants by consuming soil nutrients and water. Its deep taproot allows it to thrive above native species, and its prolific seed production ensures its rapid spread. Over time, knapweed lowers biodiversity, reduces forage available for wildlife and livestock, and accelerates soil erosion. Cheatgrass, which often grows beneath knapweed, is a fast-growing annual that further disrupts ecosystems. It dries out quite early in the season, increasing the risk of wildfires and contributing to a destructive cycle. Cheatgrass is difficult to remove once established and competes aggressively with native species for resources. Since 2022, the Laurie Guichon Memorial Grasslands Interpretive site has been a hub for the GCC's efforts to restore native grasslands and manage invasive species. Key strategies include mechanical control, chemical control, and biological control. So over 3 seasons, hand pulling and weed whacking have reduced knapweed, though challenges remain. The herbicide milestone has shown significant early success in reducing knapweed cover, with more data pending. And biological control methods, such as weevil release, have been in the area since 1982, so we are seeing some results from that work from the roots up. Research trials have included targeted grazing, where cattle grazing, especially in the spring, has helped to reduce knapweed, but the plant's long-lived seed bank remains an issue. Rachel Riley's work on soil amendments and planting native species after chemical treatments has shown promising long-term results. Moving forward, the Grasslands Conservation Council of BC seeks partnership and collaboration in designing a multifaceted approach to restore this incredible site. In the fall of 2024, we had the privilege of gathering on site to listen to Indigenous voices from multiple bands and organizations. Together, we discussed the goals for the site and explored how to achieve them by combining traditional knowledge with Western science. We're excited to continue this engagement long-term and apply these learnings to other areas in the future. Here's what folks had to say about this process.
It was really awesome, I thought, to be able to go out there on the land and actually see on what is actually really taking over some of our plants that are supposed to be coming through.
Well, it was a good experience out there. I'm glad to see that at least something's being done and experience and different ideas and how we can deal with this, because there's so many ways that we could deal with it. And I'm kind of glad that you showed me a few of them, what we can work with, because that was never done before. You know, we come together like this, I think we get more things a lot better. Thank you for all that sharing that you guys did. It opened me up a lot. I could go back to my community and tell them about what happened out here, so maybe that we can get together one day and sit down and get things done in a little better way.
Well, it was really interesting learning a little bit more about some other research done on other weeds, seeing that a lot of the problems are very similar. yeah, and just gave me a more holistic view of weed management.
It does seem like there's a lot of doom and gloom to it, but it's events like this where we're able to come together and bring our minds, and again, like, we can see it from more of that Western scientific perspective where everyone brings like that university kind of education to it as well, but we can't forget like the like traditional side to it. As again, we've had a lot of good information shared by folks, and like, how do we bring that together to form more of a holistic approach to this issue? I think it starts in circles like this.
I really appreciated hearing everyone's perspectives, and not even just on invasives, but what people really want to see out here.
It's really good to see what's actually been done out there, and put a location to some of the reading that I've done. It's good to hear that this isn't something that's gonna go away, and that we're gonna do something about it.
I know it's hard sometimes, we go out there and see it and it's a little heartbreaking, but also lots of successes in areas where we are seeing improvement. I think we're all here because we feel like there is more we can do and that there is hope and potential. And so it's, yeah, I think it was a good discussion, and I was really appreciative that Rachel was able to show us some of her past sites and some of those areas that are definitely looking better, and so something to aim and move towards.
I think that this is a hard uphill topic. Everybody's kind of feeling discouraged about it, but days like today I find really motivating. I find it really good to put faces to the names that we've heard. There's been a lot of virtual discussion about these topics, so I personally find these kind of meetings really, really valuable to talk about everything.
I feel we all have different talents and skills because there's multiple ways to heal, and for me, in order for First Nations to heal, we have to heal the land. And when I see the knapweed like I did there, that's to me kind of like an open wound, right? And so to help bring people together like this, to help create that healing, knowing everything is connected, it will help heal everyone, right? So I'm grateful to be a part of this. I did have a little, my gut wrench when I hear spraying. I hate to hear oh, we sprayed, but then you see the actual application, you're like, okay, well, maybe there's some good to it. So that was a kind of an aha for me, really not to just discard spraying. It might not be my first choice, but it's also, I can see the need for it, and it's a tool in the toolbox that we can use.
Especially in the Nicola, the bands do have a shared decision-making framework with walrus, forestry, etc. A lot of that is this de-siloing conversation, but I think a lot of that is putting people's agency, our community's agency, back on the land, having a holistic paradigm. I guess on the positive side, some of that work I think is uniquely happening here in the Nicola, using the Watershed Sustainability Act and the Lands Act through the Nicola 5 chiefs. It's how to create agency and a holistic management paradigm that works, that is applicable, but also puts the buck back on cause or even those who have the resources to address it, those that do currently manage the land and do have agency on it. And I think that's what we're hoping to rectify, fix, make better through some of the governance work that is happening.
It's also really interesting to see some of the cultural values, talking about the elk and getting biodiversity back to bring those animals back, and even the water quality and how livestock are an indicator of water quality. So that was very helpful. We do education and outreach, so if you have guardian programs or just would like your staff trained up on invasive plants, we're more than welcome to do that free of charge, so just reach out to us. And any questions on invasive plant management in the region, just reach out.
The work that we're doing for knapweed or burrowing owls may seem futile to a lot of people, but we're going to stop adding to that list of invasive species and species at risk by the work that we're doing for the problems or concerns we're having now.
We want to hear your thoughts. Find us online at bcgrasslands.org.